so many of us have felt flawed for our sensitivities, for our differences, for not fitting into the social norm box.
In this excerpt from the HSP podcast, Julie Bjelland and Willow McIntosh talk about embracing our identity as sensitive and neurodivergent people and not feeling flawed because we don't fit social norms.
A couple days ago, we published the children's book for sensitive and neurodivergent children. And one of the things, Willow, that is so cool about this is I've actually been hearing from adults too about how much this book means to them. And it comes down to the concept we're going to talk today about feeling flawed. And it's so many of us have felt flawed for our sensitivities, for our differences, for not fitting into the social norm box. And I think that would be such a neat thing for us to talk about today. I know both of us have experienced that feeling of being flawed. And I think about another thing that's very exciting, and this actually I feel like tells us the direction of where we're going in the world, is that the children's book went number one in new releases for children's books. And this is a children's book about, isn't that incredible? Because this is a children's book about about being neurodivergent, about being sensitive, and we know there's so many of us that are just craving to have this representation, and this representation in the characters and things, it's going to make a difference. And I believe it's going to have a potential to raise sensitive and neurodivergent children, like a whole generation of taking away that feeling of being flawed. And I have so much to say about this, Willow. It's going to be interesting to talk about today.
I'm so excited. Honestly, I just think it's amazing that, first of all, how the rankings have responded to this book, because it's obviously something that is really resonating for people. It's time that it's out there. And just how important it is that this information can be assimilated by the next generation. I think I've been really thinking about this recently, how, the stories that are told about ourselves, or the way in which we interpret conditioning and upbringing when we're little, and how that then turns into lifelong belief systems and programs that just don't serve us and keep us hidden, keep us in rejection of ourselves. And it really just boils down to such a simple remedy, such a simple fix, which your book is absolutely addressing to help children embrace them.
It is kind of a simple fix, in fact. We have had a history of trying to make sensitive and neurodivergent children conform to what we think society's expecting of them. And really what that did is send a message to all of us who were raised like that to conform, that the way we were naturally was wrong somehow. And it is so incredible how that affects people. Like, I work with a lot of autistic women, and just incredible women, just brilliant, successful in their careers, but they carry the same message that I have also, that I've been working to shift myself, is there's something wrong with me, and I want you to tell me how I can change so that I can fit into the neurotypical world. And they're still having that message of, I need to change, so there's something wrong with me. And I'm giving them the message, there isn't something wrong with you. You don't actually need to change. That we instead need to educate about some of our different ways of communicating, some of our different types of needs, and embracing the fact, just like we do in neurodiversity, like we're talking about the fish and how amazing it is to have all these different kinds of beautiful fish, and how much we accept that in the natural world. And I see such a huge difference in, basically, if you take two people, think about this as like two children. Let's say they're twins, so that we can, have this similar experience. So one of them is getting the message that they're flawed in life and that they need to change who they are. The other one is celebrated. for who they are. They're honored, they're accepted, they're embraced. How do we think they're going to enter into the world, experience the world? It's going to be completely different, because that feeling of being flawed is like 1,000-pound weight on top of you, everything that you do. It affects literally everything that you do. It prevents you from your light shining bright. And then there are some kids who are raised with parents who are very supportive, with caretakers, with people around them. They're very supportive of their uniqueness. And those kids are so remarkable. They don't have that feeling flawed holding them back. And I just think about that, Willow. Like, imagine if you had that message, if I had that message, that we didn't have to carry that weight, because it is hard to change that feeling flawed piece. It's hard. It's like so seeped into your bones because it's your inner child. It's stuff that you learned with a child's brain.
This material in an excerpt from a longer podcast or video. Follow link in description to learn more.